Steve Pagliuca's $325 million WNBA power move inside Connecticut Sun's possible Boston relocation. Imagine Boston entering the WNBA not through expansion, but by pulling off a bold takeover of an existing franchise. That scenario may soon become reality. The team in question? None other than the Connecticut Sun, a franchise currently dead at the bottom of the WNBA leaderboards. At the center of this high-stakes power move is Steve Pagliuca, chairperson of Bain Capital and minority owner of the Boston Celtics. The 70-year-old has long envisioned bringing a WNBA team to Boston. Now, that dream appears closer than ever. Reports suggest that a group led by Pagliuca has agreed to purchase the Connecticut Sun for a record-breaking $325 million, the highest price ever paid for a professional women's sports franchise. However, despite the scale of the deal, there are still several factors that could complicate the relocation. Before we get into those hurdles, let's break down what this historic agreement means for the Sun and what Boston stands to gain. Why is Steve Pagliuca buying the Connecticut Sun and relocating them to Boston? The Sun, originally based in Orlando before relocating to Uncasville in 2003, has been owned by the Mohegan tribe for over 2 decades. Their current home, the Mohegan Sun Arena, is one of the smallest in the WNBA, with a maximum capacity of about 9,323 and lacks a dedicated training facility. The tribe was already open to selling. In May 2025, the Mohegan tribe hired Allen & Company, a leading investment bank, to explore a potential sale of the Connecticut Sun. Among those who expressed interest was billionaire Mark Lazary. However, it was Steve Pagliuca's offer, sweetened with a $100 million commitment to build a new practice facility, that ultimately made the deal stand out. Pagliuca also intends to relocate the team to Boston's TD Garden, where the Sun have already played 2 sold-out games, highlighting the city's strong appetite for WNBA basketball. The move also aligns with Pagliuca's long-term goal of capitalizing on the WNBA's growing popularity in a historic basketball city. However, there are still some major roadblocks in the move to Boston. The biggest obstacle to the Connecticut Sun's potential move to Boston is securing league approval. While the sale is currently pending, any relocation must receive approval from the WNBA Board of Governors. Individual teams do not make these decisions. This adds a layer of complexity to the process. The league had previously identified Boston as a potential expansion market, possibly as late as 2033. In the most recent expansion cycle, cities like Cleveland, Detroit, and Philadelphia were selected from a pool of 12 applicants. This highlights just how competitive the market selection process is. Interestingly, no ownership group from Boston applied during the most recent WNBA expansion process. As a result, the league currently views the cities that submitted bids, but were not selected as higher priorities for expansion. Celtics co-owner Bill Chisholm also reached out to the WNBA. He asked that Boston receive strong consideration for a franchise when the timing is right. So, relocating the franchise from Connecticut to Boston may prove to be a challenging move. However, there are voices in support of this move too. Massachusetts Governor Maura Healey is strongly backing the move, citing the city's sellout crowds and historical significance to basketball. "I've been pushing for years for Boston to get a WNBA team. I think it would be great for Boston," she said. "And that would be great for the WNBA. And we saw that for a second year in a row, a sellout crowd at TD Garden. I've been at this for a couple of years. I also think it would be great for the Connecticut Sun to move to Boston." Indeed, the Sun drew a sellout crowd when they played at TD Garden, signaling strong fan interest. However, even if the league approves Pagliuca's ownership deal, the team will not relocate immediately. The Sun will stay in Connecticut through the 2026 season and plans to move to TD Garden in 2027. To handle possible scheduling conflicts at the Garden, they may play early season games in Providence. But if the $325 million deal goes through, it would signal a major shift in the WNBA. How does this sale impact the future of the WNBA and women's sports business? The most recent WNBA franchise sale took place in 2021, when the Atlanta Dream changed ownership in a deal valued between $7 and $10 million. Going from that to a whopping $325 million deal sets a new benchmark for women's pro sports valuations. Pagliuca's offer of $100 million for a new practice facility signals a commitment to long-term infrastructure in women's sport. While the relocation remains uncertain, a move to Boston would give the WNBA a major visibility boost. Boston is one of the country's most passionate sports markets. This move would also help expand the league's national footprint. As